Gamers, welcome to Super Import Reviews. My name is Steve, and today I'll be going over the MonsterArts Gamera 1999 from the film Gamera 3 Revenge of Irys. Almost said Advent. That would be wrong. But anyways, for the figure here, decided to pick this guy up because I love me some Heisei Gamera. Easily my favorite of the monster, well, at least monster sagas anyways. Because I always feel like that's those like Showa, Heisei, Millennium, Gamera. You have the Gamera trilogy, and then the Showas, and then you also have Toto, or whatever his name is, Gamera the Brave. And I don't know, I just always thought that the Gamera trilogy is easily like the best thing ever for giant monster movies. Pacific Rim is like my favorite in terms of just a general monster movie, but easily just like as a complete unit, Gamera takes the cake. Then I just really like this suit. My favorite's still the 96. But this one's easily a close second. That is just a new mold from MonsterArts, so I decided to hop on this guy. And we'll see how good he actually is, because initially looking at him, the jaw seems kind of weird. From what I see in a picture. So, very curious to see how this guy is going to be outside of the packaging. Then just how his accessories are going to be working on this guy. So without further ado, for the packaging, get a pretty nice like upshot of Gamera anyways. Like looking down, you can't really see his eyes. Kind of glossed over, sort of like Nightmare Gamera. At least from what I could tell in here with a little bit of a fiery background. Gamera 99 has the new Bandai, well actually that's Tamashii Nation quality sticker. Kind of one of those things that helps out with the letting you know that this is not officially a bootleg. Which I don't really, I don't think I've ever really seen MonsterArts bootlegs. Like I know Figure Arts is a thing, but MonsterArts I haven't really seen any in particular. You also have the Kadokawa sticker on the opposite side, Gamera 3 on the top side of the package, just some side shell action. Opposite side, Gamera with his flaming fist. Back of the package just shows you everything that the figure can do and what he comes with, and some Lego Mumbo Jumbo on the bottom. So, I guess the top we should go over to some slashes. Well, not really slashes, it's like peeking through the smoke. So, anyways, let's get him opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we got Gamera open up out of his cardboard prison, this is not how he came out of the pack. Oh, yeah. I did photos, and this was the last thing that we had him set on. Alright, so we're going to start with this flight form first, because I'm lazy, and I don't want to tear him back apart, to also reassemble him. But anyways, for Gamera flying around, so going over Gamera's flight mode real quick, the stuff that you wouldn't see on this figure initially when you have it in standard Gamera pose is the wings here. The kind of popping out a little bit. Stabilizer wings. His little tiny little fish legs there. And then this big section back here which has his thrusters and the tail done more kind of like an airplane tail. Well, not really an airplane tail. This would kind of be like uprights and back here. So it flies. That's all you need to know. But it's super cool looking, especially from the front. The only thing that's kind of weird is his arms bend upwards. That I don't really quite understand, because when I was attaching it, I thought I was putting it on backwards, but then I'm like, but that's the thumb. That has to be on the top. So, just seemed a little weird. And they're not posable at all. So when you buy them, it kind of looks like he's trying to like get uplift or something. That and these don't like to stay in as well as I would like to. At least this one. This one stays in there pretty firm. These were a pain in the butt to get out. I'll show you in a second, because we'll reverse engineer him back into normal Gamera. So you guys will get to see all the parts you swap out. But everything looks really nice though. Like the thrusters on the back, you can see where the legs tuck in. Look pretty cool. I kind of wish maybe like one of the effects that these things would come with would be the smoke trailing out. Or even if it just had the smoke trailing out, period. Because, I don't know, it's kind of cool that like he can sit. He comes with a display stand, which is the basic fiery display that you get with pretty much most of these figures. For instance, the first edition Godzilla came with a blue one. Also, the accessory sets also came with these as well. This one's done in a fiery red. And then you have the flight stand here, which he just literally just set him on. Good to go. You just want to make sure that the center lines up with his chest piece here. holds him in there pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Now, the way this stand's set up, you wouldn't be able to have the smoke effect coming out of the back of it. But kind of like if you're gonna have Gamera like flying around, you know, it would be cool to have the smoke trail, or at least some way to put it on him. But still, overall, like, it's a cool look. Not gonna be using it. Definitely, like, out of the accessories, this is not the one I am the most excited about displaying, especially since I already have a version of this guy anyways. But still pretty cool. Now, how you would put the arms and legs back in and put the shell piece back in is these just pull out. You just want to go straight out. Now this one goes on the little firmly. There's also different peg holes. So when attaching it, each of these is not, you can't really screw up which section this is going to be going on. The arms are on a ball joint. These are a little bit more of a weird thing to get out. But you just kind of, when you pop it in, you push with your, you just line it up and kind of push with your thumb. Getting them off is a bit of a different story. You just kind of pull out. What's nice too is these are actually pretty thick and sturdy, so I don't really worry about breaking these guys. But you just pull outwards. So here you have Gamera's arms. You want to shift the head down, which is great too. You can look up really nicely, but we'll get back to that. Now this one's the weird one. Getting it in is a little bit more of a pain because you have to line up all three of these peg holes and then push downwards. So getting it on is a little bit more of a chore. Getting it off, as you can see, is pretty darn simple. Now, gotta go grab the rest of his parts. Now, we'll start with the legs because I'll show you guys his shining finger here in a second. So we won't go full-blown hooking that arm back together. But with the tail, it's just on a ball joint. So you just pop that back in. You want to make sure you're going straight into the ball joint here. So apply pressure, goes right in. Pretty easy to do. Same way you're swapping out, just pull out. You just want to make sure you're going straight outwards. Next to be this guy. Oh, maybe we should have did that backwards. My bad. It's been a hot minute. Again, you want to make sure you line up all three of the peg holes before you apply pressure downward, just to make sure. There we go. Push it down. Now can we attach the tail? There we go. Good to go. Trial and error, folks. And then each of the legs, just kind of line it up which leg goes in the which. Also, I think it usually has like a right leg, left leg on here. Yep, as you can see right there, that tells you that's the left. Up at the top here is for the right. You know, I was just about to put this in. I'm like, sure, you just go like that and it makes perfect sense. Thank God we actually looked at that because this is actually his right leg. For some, I don't know, the shape of the feet kind of made me think it was in the other direction. But you just push him in, get his legs in, and same when you want to pull them out, you just grab at the top of the thigh, I guess is what we're going to call that. You just pull outwards. Try not to smack your camera if you're trying to record this at the same time. For the little plates here. Now, when I was trying to get these out, I initially had to use a really small flat-headed screwdriver to kind of pop them out. Now they come out pretty easy with the nail. But the initial extraction was a bit of a pain. But now, it's not too bad. Actually, no. Now it's actually fairly loose, so I'm a little bit more concerned that that's going to pop out eventually. Next, we have the little, the skin section for in between the arms. Again, you can see, in case you guys forget which side goes into which, so this is the left one. Like that. That looks right. Then you got the R there. I think I'm backwards. It's a little weird trying to line these up to get them in. You just kind of wiggle it around until you finger it out. So that's a little bit bigger. So that should be like that. And then you take your arm, pop it into the ball joint. Maybe. There we go. Got it. Losing parts of Gamera already. You stay. You might be a nail polish thing eventually if you're going to be an issue. Because I don't think I'm going to do the flight stand, so that staying in there fairly snugly isn't going to concern me as much. One we'll pop this one back on just so you guys can see it, because I actually got to swap out the arm. But when you pop it out, you want to make sure to grab at the top of the bicep, you pull it out, and then you just remove this section here when you want to put the wings on. But here he is fully assembled, but we do have one more accessory, which is his shining, burning finger thing. Not sure what I can't remember if it actually has an official name, because it's like he gathers his plasma energy in his arm, shoves it literally into Irys. And I just like to call it the burning finger because it reminds me a lot of G Gundam. But the entire section is this part right here. So you need the bicep part, but you got to remove essentially from the elbow down. The best way I do it is I remove the arm, sitting Gamera down. Then you grab at the bicep and the elbow, pull that apart. First time I tried this, the ball joint came out on the other side, which sucks. So you just grab it, pop it out, and then push it back into there, possibly with the help of this. But you just line up the ball joint into the hole, apply some pressure, goes in. Pretty snug. This is also articulated too, which is pretty cool. Then you just pop it back into your Gamera. There we go. I was like waiting for the pop. So once you get it in, I'm going to hold you like this for the rest of the review. Once you get it in, looks really cool. I do like the translucent effect for it, because essentially it's the exact same mold, but they just use a clear plastic to get the look. But it does the job nicely. Now we just need an Irys to come with an accessory where you can stick the hand actually into the Irys. Well, then again, we also need a Legion, so here's hoping. So going over his closer details for his head sculpt, freaking gorgeous. Initially, when I seen the prototype, the head concerned me a bit because the way the jaw looked kind of made his head look big. But after getting the actual figure in hand, that doesn't look too bad, especially like closed mouth Gamera. Looks pretty much spot on. But the way the joint is, when you open his mouth to articulate it, that's where it looks like it's a little big. But it's the way the jaw is set up, kind of gives you a bit of that problem. From the front view though, looks great though. Side view, not quite as good, but it's still not too bad. I think what kind of throws me off is the way the jaw kind of shifts down a little bit. It doesn't, like, he doesn't have nearly the roar the 96 one had. And it's a little strange. Also, inside the mouth looks really nice too, where you get that really dark red for the inside with some, it's more of a bone coloring. One thing I want to bring up though, not sure if I did it earlier, because today's a new day for filming. His joints like to pop off super easy, especially this one here. I guess I can go over that more during the articulation part, whatever. But moving it down his neck, where you get a lot of the more, it's hard to explain, but his skin is more like layered. It's like a very like wavy layered pattern going over his softer bits, and then getting to his shell, which actually has kind of a weird shape to it where it swings inward. More like it's kind of like a triangle from the top section, and each of his like front sections go outwards, where most of the other Gameras were very flat. Well, he has a more angled shell on the front section here, but it's a really cool look. Kind of gives him a little bit more realism than the other ones, where I don't want to sound negative because like the 96 is still my favorite, but it's definitely more Ninja Turtle, more so than this one. Same with the arms too, where his hands kind of remind you a little bit more like flippers in a way, but you can definitely see the fingers, and then his claw goes towards the front. Well, 96 was more in a backwards pattern, where he definitely had more use for it as a weapon than, say, this version of Gamera. Where that one kind of used it like Guyver, while this one, not so much. But still looks really nice. You get some detailing on the inner section of the palm as well. Moving down his legs. Again, like, this part's a different color. I don't know why. It's a little strange. Just a little bit. Feet, though, look cool. I like that he's got a lot of detailing in the bottom section. Though, this side, a little odd paint patch there. But for the most part, still looks really cool on the bottom section. Same with the top of the feet, too. Look very nice as well. With the nails done and again in a bone color. Look great. Some things, oh, okay, it's kind of like fluff. There's some fluff there. Moving to the back section of the tail. Very traditional Heisei Gamera. We've seen it on the 96 one before. Nothing too crazy here. Just a little stubby tail. The back of the shell, definitely more gnarly looking. You can even see like he's got some battle scars on the back of the shell with a lot of the plating here and some rough texturing for the damaged bits. Like, you can definitely tell this guy has been through some battles. But this is probably my favorite looking of the shells. Like, especially from the back angle. Looks pretty sweet. His shell definitely has a more fossil look to it. More so than what we got with the previous Gamera. Like, this thing definitely has a bit of an aged look to it. And it just helps to give Gamera even more detail than he already had. For his articulation, head can look up about that far. So pretty much straight up, down, and about that far. A little bit side to side. A little bit of a rotation here as well. Jaw can open and close. A little bit of a wiggle for the jaw as well. I do believe the tongue is articulated. Problem is my fat fingers cannot fit in that thing. Do I have anything tiny? Hold on. We'll use the flamey hand. Come on. It looks like there's a ball joint there. Okay, I don't think that's moving anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, that looks like it's pretty stuck in there. So, tongue. Did it shift though? Is that just me? Nope, that's just me. Okay. Arms can go. And there you see it. This joint pops off super easy. But arm, go up by that far. And down by that far. Inwards, outwards. A little bit of a rotation. Elbow. Not too much of a bend without popping that thing out. You get a little bit movement at the hand as well. But nothing too crazy. A little bit of a forward back at the hand as well. But still a pretty decent range of motion for a turtle. Show you with this hand. This arm stays in a little bit better. For his legs, goes forward about that far, downwards about that far. Nothing really at the top of the left thigh. A little bit at the knee. Feet definitely got a little bit more of a range of motion. And a bit of a wobble. Nothing at the waist though, so sadly no waist articulation. And his tail can go about that far to the left and right, a little bit up, and straightens up about that far. And you can actually even tuck it a little bit down if you needed to. And for some quick comparisons, here we have him next to some SH Monsters figures with the 1996 version of Gamera and Shin Godzilla. And here's some other Gamera toys in my collection with the Rocket Toys Flying Gamera and the Revoltag Gamera 1967. And here is some Bandai vinyls with the 1994 Gamera from Gamera Guardian of the Universe and Legion from Gamera 2. And here is with the Bandai vinyl Irys and the small scale X Plus Gamera 1999. Who's currently in the middle of being repaired. And here's some SH Figure Arts figures with Ultraman Geed and Ultraman X with Cyber Gamora armor. So overall for the SH MonsterArts Gamera, this figure is pretty sweet. Love the articulation, the accessories are really cool. The only real nitpick I got for this guy is that some of the stuff pops off of him really easy. More so than some of the other MonsterArts figures that I've had. But it's pretty simple fixes, and for the most part you're going to be posing them standing on your shelf, so it randomly popping off once in a while isn't that big of a deal. But this is probably the coolest Gamera 3 that I have as of right now. At least until the X Plus comes out next month. Then we'll wait and see. But for right now, if you guys are really into Gamera vs. Irys, then you definitely should be picking up this MonsterArts figure. What do you guys think? If you guys picked up Gamera, what's your favorite Gamera film? Or is Godzilla just more a thing? Please let us know in the comments. Look closer pictures of this guy on our Facebook. Go and click the link description below. We also have our Patreon account if you guys like to help support the channel. Also down in the description. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.